Hello everybody, Z3, KO Trinity here. Did y'all miss me? It seems like it's been a while since y'all last saw me. Total minutes of about 6 or 7 minutes ago. Welcome back. This video has been brought to you by Monster, because monsters are scary. Let's jump right into this, shall we? We are doing a Goosebumps book review on The Haunted Mask 2. Now, if you have not checked out my Haunted Mask 1 book review, make sure to go check that out before you watch this one. And the reason why I tell you that is because they are completely different. That's right. And I hope you guys don't give me hate for this. And everything I'm about to say is in my own personal opinion. So I don't want nobody to get offended, okay? I don't want to see nothing in the comment section going, "Hey, fat piece of shit, you don't know what good literature is if it hits you in the face." But, I finished this book last night. I've kind of pushed back reading for quite some time. And after meeting R.L. Stine, it kind of gave me that push that I really needed. Can't stay long getting ready for trick-or-treating. Okie dokie. Yeah, I decided to do this live. I was just going to pre-record, but it's so much quicker getting it on to actual YouTube, even though it says very bad connection. So I do apologize for the very bad connections. But let's get into this, shall we? Now this little book right here. I got done reading Haunted Mask #1. And I absolutely loved it. I've watched that episode a million times growing up as a kid. That was one of my top favorite Goosebumps episodes of all times. One of my favorite Goosebumps stories of all times. And I got a really interesting story to share. It was actually told from Mr. R.L. Stine himself when I got to meet him. He said that when they were filming the episode of The Haunted Mask, the actress, it came to the scene where the actress was supposed to bite into the sandwich, and it has that worm. Thank you for joining, El Manuel. Just come right back and finish the video when you get the chance. But the girl, they wanted to put a plastic worm into the sandwich to do the scene with. And the actress that played Carly Beth had walked up to them and said, "I don't think I could do it with a plastic worm. So could we maybe possibly do it with a real worm?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, if that's up to you." So the actress, ballsy as she is, did that scene with a real worm, bit into the sandwich, chewed on that wormy goodness, pardon me, and just did it like a boss. So yeah, that was really, really cool that R.L. Stine shared that bit of information about one of my top favorite Goosebumps episodes. But let's get to #2. #1 is so fantastically done, and the book has followed perfectly with the actual, episode. Now, where the hell did this go wrong? This book, now, keep in mind, if I read this book first, I would still have this opinion. This book was highly disappointing. Highly. And the reason why I say it is because I loved the episode so much. The Haunted Mask 2 was one of the greatest Goosebumps episodes ever made. I love the fact that Carly Beth, she was involved a lot with it. Steve, the story is about Steve, okay? He wants to kind of get back, wants to be scary like Carly Beth was. Because now him and Chuck are trying to scare her, and she's just kind of invulnerable to being scared now because she went through that. So he's like, I got to do something to up my game. So he goes to the exact same bookstore and he gets that haunted mask. Well, the guy, confronts him, and then he hauls ass carrying the old man mask. That one right there. And so he goes home, puts it on, can't get it off, but he takes it off, eventually. And then he goes out and he starts trick-or-treating. Yes, I am talking about the episode. I'm talking about the episode first. So that's so I can let you guys know why this book is so disappointing to me. And yes, there is going to be spoilers. So if you do not want me to spoil it, please pause the video, go read this book as soon as you possibly can, and then come back to me. And leave a comment below, because I really need to know your opinions too. But he goes out, he starts scaring people left and right, but then he starts feeling that fatigue that an old man would feel. And he has those spiders that are real, and eventually he's like, I gotta get this off, and he's like, nah, can't get it off. Elderly men have that problem. But it just progressed, and finally he needed help, and Carly Beth, he needed her help. But the second plot of this story is Carly Beth's old mask, the original one that first possessed her, has taken control of the owner of the store and is out to find Carly Beth because it wants to reunite with her and be her. So he basically tricks the old man, aka Steve, into getting Carly Beth for him. Which, of course, during the whole process, Steve ultimately starts, has a crush on Carly Beth. That's why he kept picking on her. That's why he kept, doing stuff to her, because he actually kind of had a crush on Carly Beth. And, you need a symbol of love to get the mask off. Carly Beth was her mom's statue that she had made of her head. Well, ultimately, when Carly Beth's original mask went to fly at her and basically control her forever, Steve jumped right in front of him, sacrificing himself, could not care less about what happened to him, whether or not he'd be trapped as an old man forever. So, he just, Jeez, Mom, something funny? He leaps in front of him, stops the mask, but at the same time, he's able to pull his own mask. Okay, guys, I gotta fix something. You can thumbs down the video right now if you want, but I'm gonna change it. Oh yeah, let me just toss it in there. That's perfect. Shit. Is that any better? Well, that ain't better. Fuck that. I guess we'll just have to deal with the glare. Sorry I look like, an angel or something. Beautiful angel, but... Anyway, that was his symbol of love. He loved Carly Beth enough to sacrifice himself to stop the mask. Okay? And the mask came off. Him and Carly Beth shared that intimate moment together at the very end where they ultimately decided to burn the masks. And of course, we all know the very, very ending of that episode where Carly Beth's mask really wasn't destroyed and the dog buried it in the backyard. End of story. Well, I went to read this book with all of that in my mind. Like, ooh, this is going to be such an amazing book. And it starts out with these little piece of shits, first graders. And I tell you what, this Steve fella is totally taking it easy on them. These kids were animals, like he described in the book. They caused him physical pain. I mean, he kicked the damn concrete ball, for God's sake. Broke his foot. If I'm going to get my revenge on these little bastards, it's going to be more than just putting on a mask and going, I'm Manuel. I'm not going to just jump out and scare and be like, I got my revenge for you guys, causing physical pain to me. No, I'm going to be, like, tormenting, holding down these kids, bashing their head on the concrete ground, like, just completely, like, I might even sucker punch a few of them. You like that? Remember the concrete ball? Remember that? But let's get to the point. That's the whole back origins of why Steve wants to get this scary mask. Is because he wants to teach these little first graders a lesson. You know, a belt to the face would have been suffice, but, you know, that's not me. But he goes out and he gets the mask. You know, all's well that ends well. Puts it on at the house and immediately can't get it off. Which is weird because I kind of thought that the whole 2-time or 3-time rule would apply, but, you know, it's one and done. He can't get it off now. So, half of the book has already passed at this point. Not even lying. Half of the book until he finally, you know, gets the mask on and is trapped. So he's freaking out. He's staying at home and he's like, what do I do? What am I going to do? And his mom comes upstairs and she's like, honey, I went to the store across the street in another state of Canada and bought you these cookies. One half of them is white and the other half's black. They're your favorites. I bought them for you because I loved you, and these are the symbol of love that helps get the mask off. And he's like, shut up, Mom, I'm trying to deal with this. And he, you know, goes out, and he decides, you know what? If I'm trapped in this mask, fuck it. I'm just going to go scare the kids like I originally planned. And that fails. He goes up where all the little kids are. They're in their little Halloween costumes, and they're little brat-ass little kids. And he walks up to him and he goes, booga, booga, booga. And the kids turn around and goes, oh, look, you need some help, old man? Here, let me help you cross the road. Oh, watch out, there's vehicles now. Have you read today's paper, sir? Seen a lot of your friends have a family reunion in the obituaries? And, but yeah, he doesn't even scare them. Like, complete fail. And ultimately, he's like, okay, I gotta do something. I gotta find Carly Beth. Maybe she'll know what to do. So he goes to her, tells him his thing. She ain't even a bit scared. She's like, dog, all you need is a symbol of love. That's all you need, man. Just a little bit of love. And her friend's like munching down on like Milky Way or something. She's like, no. She's like, oh, you guys go solve that little problem. You know, it's not even scary at this point. I'm just going to sit here and shove Milky Ways up my mouth, my nose. Like, ugh. I'm going to motorboat them candy bars. But, yeah. And if I just now saw someone join in. If you just joined in and I was doing this, you know, you'll know this is a good video. But, ultimately, and also I am spoiling the end of this. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to watch later, okay? Yeah, I saw it quickly go to 0. I don't blame you. But they're not even a bit afraid of this. She's like, oh man, all you need is a symbol of love. Can you think of anything? And he's like, wait a minute, my mom bought me those cookies. So he shimmies down to his house and gets home, and his mom's like, oh, I love the costume. Oh man. He's like, do you have any more of them cookies? I was really craving some cookies, Mom. And she's like, oh, your dog ate them all. And then of course he's like, oh well, I'm fucked. And then Carla Beth's like, your dog's a symbol of love. So he picks up the dog, and he's like, you know, holding the dog, whatever, but still don't work. So they're like, you know what, let's go back to this store and find the owner. Maybe different masks do different things. And at this point, I know what you're thinking. Where's Carly Beth's mask? The original one? Not even in the book. Nope. That whole thing was just episode only. And they get to the store and can't find the owner. They're looking around. Carly Beth picks up this random-ass bodysuit that had spiders and stuff all over it. She's like, hey, this looks like the bodysuit that goes to your mask. And all of a sudden, the mask slips off of him, attaches itself to the bodysuit, and then just kind of like smiles and leaves. Like, oh, thank you guys. I guess I'll be seeing in there. Been looking for my body. Go look at that body. But I'm like, this whole entire time I read that part, I'm like, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? That's all it takes? Put on a haunted mask. Oh, I can't get it off. Oh, I can't tell the difference between my titties and the mask. So I better go find the body that belongs to this mask, and it'll be all happy-go-lucky and walk out the front door. And it didn't even have a relationship between him or Carly Beth. And that's what ruined it for me. So, ultimately, this book was a big disappointment to me. I hope if you guys like the book, let me know in the comment section below what you think. But as far as it goes, this was a big letdown. Out of 10 stars, I would only give this book a 3. But I would watch the episode over and over and over again. That episode is perfect 11 out of 10. I don't know, man. It's like when they were making the episode, they're like, should we go with R.L. Stine's original idea? Like, nah, fuck that. So, if you want a better version, in my opinion, watch the episode. Don't read this. But, for shits and giggles, let's see what the back of the book says here. Just call him Prune Face. Alright, new name. Steve Boswell, a.k.a. Prune Face, will never forget Carly Beth's Halloween mask. It was so gross, so terrifying, but this year, Prune Face wants to have the scariest costume on the block. So he gets a mask from the same store where Carly Beth got hers. It looks like a creepy old man with stringy hair, a wrinkled face, and spiders crawling out of his ears, like Donald Trump. Prune Faces definitely got the scariest mask around. Too bad he's starting to feel so old and so tired and so evil. Reader beware. You're in for a scare. So yeah, what did you guys think of the book? Did y'all like the book? If you've read it, do you agree with me about the episode being a million times better than the episode? If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, please hit it, thumb it down. Let me know. I cherish all your opinions. But until we meet again, I'm working. The next book I'm reading is Let's Get Invisible. But I will do what I used to do and do a 5-book thing where you guys pick the next book that I read. But the next book I am reading is Let's Get Invisible. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, forgot what I was going to say. These keys.